Hey, what's up, folks? This is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, today's video is going to be a market update. We're going to be talking about some of the coins that I've covered recently on the channel, including we'll be talking about VGX, I'll be talking about Telcoin, I'll be talking about PDEX, Bitcoin, as well as I'm going to give you a new one here that I haven't even discussed on this channel, UnoRe. So this is one that just popped up on my radar just the other day, and it's been making some waves, so I think it's a good time to bring it up. All right. Now, also, don't forget that this week we've also got the Bitcoin conference going off in South Florida. So what better time than now when Bitcoin really needs a shot in the arm than to get a lot of the brightest minds in the space together in one place to talk all about Bitcoin, all about crypto, have a huge party, and get this thing kicking off, right? So I think it's fantastic timing for that. I'm kind of jealous that I'm not there, and you know what? Next time around, maybe I'll see if I can get to that one. But big deal with that conference happening right now. It started today. It's going throughout the weekend, and I've got some updates on that as well for anybody who's interested. So we'll be talking about that in the video today also, okay? Now, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. All right, so we're going to kick off today's video by talking about the Bitcoin Conference 2021 that's going on right now in Miami, Florida. All right, so pretty much everybody who's anybody is at this thing. Some of the notable speakers include, we have Michael Saylor, we've got Jack Dorsey of Twitter and Square, we have Nick Szabo, numerous politicians are there, we've got athletes, including Tony Hawk, we've got Floyd Mayweather Jr., influencers, Anthony Pompliano is going to be there. The Winklevoss twins are there. Some of the heads of the platforms that I've recently talked about, including Alex Mashinsky of Celsius, will be down there with the Celsius team. We've also got Steve Ehrlich with Voyager. He's down there. Pretty much everybody is at this conference. Now, the important thing is for any of you out there who are looking to watch the conference, there is a live stream, all right? So they will be doing a live stream, not today because today is whale day. Today you'd have to pay a lot of money to get into. But starting tomorrow, we'll have a live stream, and you can catch that on YouTube. You just need to go to Bitcoin 2021 live stream on your YouTube, and you can find it. And for a full agenda, the link is b.tc/conference/agenda. And you will be able to see all the speakers and when they're talking. And one of the things I noted right off the top, I think Michael Saylor is the first day, somewhere around 11 a.m. Eastern. So FYI, okay? Now, let's get to some of the updates. So first off, I wanted to kick this one off by talking about Voyager and VGX, right? I posted the video just the other day. I had a lot of people that said, hey, you know, you made some pretty good points here. Yeah, they should look into that. Had some other people say, oh my God, you sold your Voyager and, you know, what are you thinking? And so, you know, it kind of got me thinking about that a little bit. And lo and behold, as luck would have it, I was scrolling through Twitter just yesterday, and Rob Dan was interviewing Steve Ehrlich. And so I thought, hey, you know, what better time than now to start and click on this thing and watch this interview. So here's some things I learned from that. So throughout the interview, Steve Ehrlich admitted that Voyager has had scalability problems, which is one of the issues that I brought up in my video, and that they continue to invest and improve on their scalability, and that they hope to be over the scalability problems completely somewhere towards the end of this year. Okay, so that is in the works. They have been investing. They work on it daily. It's just that this takes months to do. Okay, so he's well aware of it. You don't need to keep, you know, telling him every 5 seconds. He is aware it's an issue, and they are working on it. Perfect, right? Now, he also mentioned that the growing pains, that he's got to kind of have a thick skin because people are apparently DMing him on Twitter and like cussing him out. And that's totally unprofessional. That's not what we want in the crypto space at all. So if you know anybody that's doing that, please tell them to stop. That's not productive, okay? Now, he did say that they do have a web app that's in beta. So it looks like that's right around the corner, but he admitted that they haven't released it yet because of those scalability issues. So they don't want to release the web app and then crash the system, okay? He said they feel pretty confident about their 1.6 million users they've got right now, and they're currently working hard to scale even further. Once they scale further, then they can start to look into that expansion into Europe, for example, all right? Now, he also discussed, and this came up as a topic, the debit card. So that essentially once Voyager has a debit card, somebody said, you know, you really don't even need a bank anymore. And they kind of got a point. Why would you keep your money in a bank when you could keep it in Voyager and USDC, for example, earning your 9% a month? That's kind of a no-brainer. And then you just spend your money through the debit card, right? So in my view, this is huge. Steve said that they are working on it, including lining up the right partners right now, and they hope to have that out later this year. So that's in the works also. Huge deal, okay? So remember that. So we have scalability, which could later lead to expansion. We have the web app. Now we have the debit card, all right? Now, in regards to staking, he did mention that Voyager was looking to add Luna. But when asked about VTHO, this is the energy token for VeChain, that is generated when you stake VeChain, a lot of users have been asking, well, where is my VTHO energy? He said he'd have to look into that one. I personally think the Voyager isn't built to give you that VTHO energy, so that's a little bit outside of probably those APIs that they're using from Celsius, all right? So to make that happen would be additional engineering, and I don't know if we're there yet, okay? Now, something else major that he addressed, and is somewhat confusing, is the loyalty program, okay? So Steve mentioned in the video that no matter what amount of VGX you hold, you should be earning 7% interest. And when I did my video, I said, now, you know, you have to hold at least 500 tokens. Well, Steve says it's any amount of VGX. So I thought that's kind of weird. So I went back, I looked at the Voyager app, and sure enough, the Voyager app says you have to hold 500 tokens, okay? So whether that is something that they change, it is possible. He did mention, somebody had brought up that, you know, the higher that VGX goes in value, the harder it is to get to these goals, which is what I mentioned in my video, which is why I said you should do it based on ratio. Well, Steve did say that they are open to changing those tiers as the coin goes up in value. So I'm not sure if he misspoke on the 7% interest on VGX of holders of less than 500, or if that's what his intent and intention is, but they just don't have the system set up that way currently. So that's something that he's going to need to clarify. And for the record of this video, I'm going to DM him on Twitter, but I'm not going to cuss him out. Okay. Now, Voyager is offering a promotion in June that any referrals to the platform not only get $25 in free Bitcoin, but you also get 5 VGX tokens. So this is even better than what they've offered before. Now, I do have referral links in the video description for free money bonuses. So by all means, check those out. And when you do, you help support the channel. Okay? Thank you. Now, after my recent video, some of the viewers, as I mentioned, got mad at me for dropping VGX, while others said I made some good points. Well, I posted the video on Twitter, and I tagged Voyager, as well as I tagged Steve in it. So knowing what I know about Voyager, I would probably bet money that at least Steve most likely watched that video, all right? So I have to admit, after watching Steve's interview, he really renewed my faith in the platform, which had kind of been going downhill. And I needed that shot in the arm. I needed him to come out and say, look, we're working on it. Here's all these things that we have in the pipeline. We want to make this a success, right? I always talk about, if it's somebody that you can work with, that they're in a sideways or upward trajectory, that's who you want to be partnered with. If they're in a downward trajectory, yeah, you want to move on. I don't think Voyager is downward, okay? I think, yeah, they have had some sideways trajectory, but they are in the upward phase. They've got a lot happening here. So I decided to take another look at the VGX chart. Now, what I'm seeing here on this chart, I got to admit, really has me excited. So outside of the downward trend that started after VGX peaked in February, our moving averages are starting to realign, so that's promising. You can also see that the outflow of money on the market cipher, that's the red wave below the baseline, looks like it finally bottomed out in May, meaning money is starting to come back into VGX. Now, we also had an anchor wave and a trigger wave. These are the blue waves in the market cipher with a green buy signal. So I'm back in VGX. Now, something awesome here, and let me just point this out because I'm not sure if everybody's aware of this, is that Voyager offers a recurring buy option that you can set up for as low as $10 per day. So outside of my Cardano, where I also have a recurring buy at $10 per day, I now have one running on VGX. So the bottom line here is in 3 months, I'm sure I'll have 500 tokens, but we'll see if they adjust it in the meantime. To be determined, all right? Now, let's talk Bitcoin. So if we insert the Bitcoin chart here, you can see that it also has many of the signals that were present in the VGX chart. Now, money is coming back, while we also have an anchor wave and a trigger wave as buy signals. We even had the chart form a flag where it has broken through positively, okay? A little hesitation, though, as the volume in this new upward trend is very low, all right? Now, we also had our 20-day moving average break through the 200-day moving average, which is bearish. So we still need those to correct. So in my view, chart-wise, we're not out of the woods yet, all right? Now, something interesting that I shared on Twitter was this chart posted by William Clement III that shows. So each prior Bitcoin market cycle was defined by 3 peaks that have lasted anywhere from roughly 9 months to a year and a half between peaks. In this cycle thus far, we've only had 1. So if you applied that same logic to this cycle, if our peak was somewhere around, let's say, May or April, March, we've got, easily this thing could go all the way through to next summer of 2022. So you need to keep an eye out for the 3 peaks, all right? Now, something else interesting that I posted was a podcast that Preston Peace did with Plan B and Dr. Adam Back, where the total conversation was a little over an hour. And I have to admit that I not only listened to the entire hour because I was fascinated with Dr. Back as well as what Plan B had to say. But I came away with even more conviction than I think I've had to date in the entire crypto space as a whole. So I would highly recommend checking out that podcast. I did tweet about it on my Twitter, so by all means you can find it there. But highly recommend it. Just listen to these guys talk for an hour and you come away with more conviction than you may have had to begin with, all right? Next, a Telcoin update. So for all the Telcoin fans out there, so the Telcoin drafted crypto banking legislation, otherwise known as Bill 649, the Nebraska Financial Innovation Act, was signed into law in the state of Nebraska. This is a huge deal. So the charter is for institutions who use blockchain to empower users to self-custody digital assets and put their money to work for their own benefit. Now, the effort was spearheaded by Mark Quandall at Telcoin, and he is the former director of the Nebraska Department of Banking and Finance. So that's where this connection comes in. Now, he says the bill is about, quote, leveling the playing field and letting technology determine access to capital, adding that it can be a much better deal for underserved segments of society who feel left out by the current banking system. Now, Senator Mike Flood of Nebraska said the bill sends the right message that Nebraska is open for business in this exciting new space. So this is crypto legislation. This is a framework. This is the legislation that people keep talking about we need in the crypto space. Well, Telcoin was instrumental in making this happen, all right? Now, Nebraska hopes to become a major hub for digital asset companies and those interested in financial products and services on blockchain technology. Outside of that, we also have Telcoin V3 and staking right around the corner, with V3 expected by the end of this month. Now, I actually just bought more Telcoin just the other day on KuCoin, and I also have a referral link for them, so check that one out too. Originally, I had trouble buying through KuCoin, and I don't know if it's because the platform is out of South Korea and the third-party vendor who the payment is through is somewhere totally different. I don't know, but it wouldn't go through. So ultimately, what I did was I bought USDT. This is Tether. I bought it on Coinbase. I sent it to KuCoin, and then I bought what I wanted. All right, which in this case was Telcoin. Okay. In addition, I also picked up some FET, that's Fetch, as well as PDEX, all right? Now, PDEX has really started to get some movement lately, as I'm starting to see it in numerous tweets across Twitter. So I feel like this one's kind of blowing up, right? This is that little itch that's kind of getting a little bigger, right? So PDEX has an extensive list of coming updates for anyone whoever goes on coinmarketcal.com. You can see them all there, but here's just a few of them. They've also been getting some attention from Gate.io in the form of a trading competition, which was tweeted about, and I retweeted that. The bottom line here is that PDEX essentially will be melting faces in the near future. I think this one is legit. It has a ton going for it, and it's way under the radar right now. So by all means, check out PDEX, all right? Now, lastly, we have UnoRe, which popped up on my radar just a few days ago on the suggestion by London Crypto on Twitter. So, though I haven't even reviewed this project yet, it's basically blockchain meets reinsurance, okay? So for those who don't know what reinsurance is, it's basically insurance for insurers. So the insurers can't cover everything or they would become insolvent. Therefore, they get basically bonds from reinsurance to back them up, and then therefore they don't go insolvent, and if they go over a certain amount, then the reinsurance kicks in to help them, all right? Now, London Crypto mentioned that he thought this was easily a 20x, and shortly after the tweet, it dropped on KuCoin and it basically blew up, okay? Now, if you spotted it early, you could have easily been up probably 6x by now on UnoRe. Where it stands now, though, currently, we really don't have enough data to make the market cipher useful on this one, which makes me a little bit nervous because I've seen many times here where coins will blow up right up front when they first go to an exchange, and then they'll drop off sharply thereafter, right? Because everybody who got in early has sold. Those at the top are kind of left holding the bag, and then it goes down. So where this one ultimately goes, who knows? If you got into it, is it risky to get in now? Yes, probably is. But in the long run, UnoRe does have some potential here. I do have to say that I read the white paper on it, and there's a lot going on here in terms of the reinsurance space, and I think it's a very promising project that they are working on, okay? So remember that. Now, if you manage to make it to Miami for the Bitcoin conference, I wish you all the best, as I know it will be a most excellent experience. And they even have an after party, for those who don't know, sponsored by FTX, in addition to the eToro tap room at 1-800-LUCKY, which I'm sure will be off the chain. So as I mentioned in the intro, I'm a little jealous I'm not going down there, I got to admit. But for everybody who's down there, I hope you have an excellent time. It looks like it's going to be a great conference. I definitely plan on watching it on the live stream on YouTube over the next couple of days. And you can set a reminder on your YouTube there to notify you when it goes live. So by all means, check out that agenda that I mentioned earlier. Check out the live stream. I'm sure there's going to be lots of great information that comes out of this. This is a great thing for the crypto space as a whole. When everybody works together, it advances crypto. All right? So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button. As always, I am also on Twitter, where you can find me tweeting and retweeting on a regular basis. Check me out there for daily updates. And as a friendly reminder, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one. Later.